The administration ramping up pressure on the Iran regime to reach a deal as U.S. forces remain on alert after completing another round of strikes as close as 40 miles from the nation's capital. Retired Brigadier General John Teichert joins us right now. General, I know you've been calling to go back to action. Are you pleased with the choices we've made so far, and do you hope we make more tonight?
Brian, I think what we've done in the last two nights has been fairly minimalist and proportionate, but I do think the President of the United States is finally getting fed up after 9 weeks into a 2-week ceasefire. And I think by taking down some of their air defense sites and their radar sites, that it might be preparing the battlefield for something more significant tonight. So in doing so, you think they're getting the message, the regime? Brian, I don't think so. Not at all. I think they continue to act and negotiate in bad faith. That the president 9 weeks ago in early April, when it was on the verge of us being decisive against their regime, gave them a chance to negotiate in good faith. And in every possible turn, they have failed to do so. And I think now it's time to resume large-scale military strikes, but not just at operational or tactical targets, but striking at the heart of the regime to really change the calculus and get their attention. The wild card of the Iranian people, who are desperate for freedom, 89 of the 90 million, maybe 89.5 of the 90 million. They can communicate now. The internet's up. How could we maximize that to add additional pressure during this time? Brian, I think if we do return to large-scale strikes and strike at the heart of the regime, that is regime strongholds and internal security hubs, then it gives the Iranian people the confidence that we are providing some level of top cover for them. And I think with that confidence, it gives them a chance to make the move in protest to flip the regime that they haven't had a chance to do in the last 90 days. Should we look for Israel to join us in this, or if they're not hit, they should stay on the side? What would you prefer? Brian, I think that they add additional intelligence and mass to the strikes. You know, in the first 6 weeks of active conflict, they were the ones that were striking at the heart of the regime. We need to take a page from their playbook and do the same thing. But I think if we do so alongside of one another, then it really provides the mass that gives us a chance to do something decisive. So I can take that as a yes. So a lot of military people say, stop using the word proportional. Just hit them. Hit them the way we can hit them. We are stronger. We're more prepared. We're on the right side of this operation. Why are we being proportional? I hate the word proportional because it means that we're minimalist. And to some extent, it emboldens the regime because it gives them the initiative. They've been the ones who are leading. They've been the ones that have been shaping the situation. It's time for us to take the reins and do something decisive, far more than just proportional, because proportional is not working. And I love the fact that we've got all those barrels of oils out and countless 200-plus ships through while not trumpeting it until today. That's what's been going on. And that's why the price of oil is below $90 a barrel. And we'd like to get it back to 65, which is where it's going to head. General, thanks so much for your time. Hope we're talking about more strikes tonight.
Be sure to like and subscribe for all the Fox News latest on YouTube and catch full shows streaming now on Fox One.